Okay, hello everyone. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents and staff. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here's the agenda, another brief overview tonight. And Mayor, I did just want to reaffirm some of what you said this evening. And I do want to, thank you for your comments. I also want to remind and reinforce our residents that the staff has been coordinating heavily with, and not only have we been coordinating, we've also been monitoring communications from some of our federal, state, and county agencies. We want to look at all the guidance that we can, make sure that we identify any policies that may impact Hyattsville. There is a lot of communication coming out, a lot of misinformation, a lot of fear, a lot of panic in our community. And so we're aware of that. We are receiving your calls. We know that people are concerned, as are we. So here are some of the things that we've done to date that I just want to inform the community of. We have formed a working group, and in that working group, we're monitoring federal policy changes and any possible impacts, as I said earlier, to the city and to our businesses. We're updating our preparedness plans. We're also reviewing HR policies so that our staff knows what responses that we can have or not. We're updating our website to provide resources. That website is hyattsville.org/assistance. And so we're putting things on there such as legal services, helping people to understand their rights. Lots of good information there. There's also some family plans and things that families can do to prepare in the event that there would be a separation, detention, or even deportation. So we want to make sure that people refer to that website. We'll also produce this in hard copy and hand some of this out at things like our diaper distribution and other places where we have large crowds gathering. Some of our other staff programs, protocols. I just want to remind everyone that our city services do remain open to all residents, regardless of status. Our equity programs and our community cultural conversations will continue. Want to remind you that our officers do not inquire about immigration status. They don't enforce immigration law or assist federal agencies in immigration enforcement. And we do not maintain any information here in the city or on any of our departments on the citizenship of residents. But I did just want to point that out. Those are some of the calls and some of the questions that we've been asked. But again, we do have a working group, a small group of dedicated employees that are working together and meeting regularly just to make sure we can update our sites and provide the latest and most up-to-date accurate information. All right, just a quick equity update. The members of the community came together in the visioning session. So what that visioning session was, it was really an opportunity for us to get together and identify what statement we want to make about equity and belonging for the city of Hyattsville. Once we get a finalized statement, it'll be brought before the council for adoption. It's a very engaged group. They had a really good time, had some good shared conversations about a lot of things that were important to them. They also reviewed the draft equity plan. And remember, that plan includes things like safety, policing, access to housing, transportation, and just city services. They left that meeting and probably had about 4 hours sleep. So in that meeting, we had Shakira, who led it with the Race and Equity Committee, who were really involved and dedicated and helped host. They left that meeting and then went on to do a point in time count in the community. They had to meet at 2:30 in the morning. They met with members of Prince George's County. And these same people that are here in the photo doing that were the same people that participated in the visioning session. And what that point in time count is it's an annual canvas. It's a one day shot just to figure out how many homeless we have, how many people that have unsheltered homeless, and also offer them options and services and support. So just want to shout out our Hyattsville Cares team and the work that they're doing for this community. And most of you are very aware of the annual Polar Plunge. That Polar Plunge is dedicated to Special Olympics Maryland. They raised over $3 million this year. They had members from law enforcement, military, firefighters, a lot of folks that went out there and raised money for our Maryland Special Olympics. And community services update. It's time for applications for our young people, PATH Scholarship. Please, the applications are open through March 24th. And this is for seniors who want to pursue graduate degrees or career paths. So please spread the word so we can get some applications in here. We want to try to help our young people. If you can believe, it's time to register for summer camp. So it will open on Thursday the 20th through Rec Desk. So if you would like your children to participate in summer camp, please make sure that you register them. And finally, we do have a Taste of Black History coming up. That's going to be on Thursday the 20th over at Flavors Culinary Hub on American Boulevard. Just a good time of getting together and talking about some of the African American food traditions with some speakers, as you can see there. It's expected to be lively and fun with good food. A parent and child dance party. Time for that again. Once again, music. Families will get together and have a good time. That's on Saturday, February 22nd, right here in the city building. $5 at the door. Oh, and Nate, do you want to take this one? This is a reminder that we have elections coming up.
Yeah.
Like this one, Nate?
Yeah, sure. This is really exciting. Obviously, the election is coming up in May, and so we are having our first candidate registration information session, and that is in 2 days. So on Wednesday at 6 p.m., and it's going to be virtual. And so you can go to Hyattsville.org/candidate to register for that Zoom. Just a reminder that we have 5 council seats up for election, and the election is on May 13th. This spring, and candidate registration will officially open on February 11th. So if you're interested in running for council, please show up to the session on Wednesday virtually. We will also have an in-person session later in March on a Saturday. So look out for information about that. And if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to the clerk's office at cityclerk@hyattsville.org.
Great. Thank you, Nate. That's this Wednesday. All right, so weekly offerings. We've got seated yoga for older adults. That's from 10 to 11 on Wednesdays, and Zumba, same thing on Wednesdays, but at 4 to 5. And then Creative Mind session is January 21st through March 11. English is on Tuesdays. Spanish is on the Thursdays. And committee meetings, we've got quite a few of them this month. We've got the Board of Supervisors of Election. That's going to be on February 4th. The Shade Tree Board on Wednesday the 4th. Ethics Commission meeting Tuesday the 11th, Environmental Committee meeting on Tuesday, February 11th, Police and Public Safety Advisory Committee Wednesday the 12th, and Youth Advisory Council is on Thursday the 13th. We also have some upcoming events. Nate just talked about the candidate session this Wednesday. Care Partner Support Group, that's going to be this Friday from 9 to 10:30 here at the City Building. That particular group is growing. A lot of people who are caring for family members and who come together for support. Night Owl session, I mentioned that earlier. Field permit meeting is on Wednesday the 12th. Seniors on the go, they're going to the Laurel Dutch Market. That's going to be on Thursday, February 13th. Invasive removals from local parks. That's Saturday the 15th at Melrose Park. Food distribution is going to be February 18th at 12 o'clock at First United Methodist Church. And we want to wish both Council Member Haba and Councilmember Wazak a very happy birthday this month of February. Mayor and Council, that's all I have. I'm happy to take your questions. Let me stop share. Let's see. Oops.
Yes.
Hold on. Yep.
Yes,
there it is. Yes. Okay, got it. All right. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions? Mr. Hopper?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Douglas. Just very quick question regarding the electronic sign-on. Edgar, where are we with that?
I believe Hal got an update on that today. Hal, can you provide an update? We just talked about it today.
Yes. So our contractor is got their materials and are ready to go. They're just trying to get Miss Utility out to mark the site through the grass. They got a little backed up with all of the stormy weather, and then they couldn't mark the grass for us because it was covered in snow, and that's not allowed with the Miss Utility laws. So now that everything has melted, they're working with Miss Utility to get them back out there to mark mark the area so they can safely dig it to install the electric line.
Yeah, we should, because we have a few warm days this week. We'll keep pushing to see if we can get them out there as soon as we can. Hopefully this week. I don't want to speak out of turn, Hal, but let's just keep calling and see.
Yes.
Yeah, we had almost a month where they just couldn't come out because of the weather and the ground being too hard and cold to dig. So I think this is one. We're finally getting a little break in the weather.
Okay, thank you. Colleagues, any other questions? Anyone else? Okay. Wait, Mr. Solomon, you have a question.
Yeah, on the consent item for the trash truck, was this trash truck in the current budget?
Hal, I'll let you and Ron answer that. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll let you all answer it.
Sure. Yeah, we the department had included it in our plan for the FY25 budget when we submitted it last year.
Okay. So we're just
Yeah, I think Councilmember Solomon, you will be seeing more. However, because as we begin to grow, we recognize that we're going to need to replace some of our aging fleet, and we will have to add at least one trash truck, but we're not sure. We may even have to add another one here soon. So, Ron, I don't know if you want to add to that, but you know, we've just got to make sure that we, when trucks go down, it makes it really difficult to support and service the city.
Thank you. Yes. As a city administrator just mentioned, and Hal just gave you a quick update as to when we put those in the capital budget, not the unknown piece, but unspoken piece is really the funding mechanism on that. So I'm currently looking at the funding mechanism. We have some time to, number one, for this body to approve that purchase. And then on the back end of that is to decide whether or not we're going to use some form of available cash to pay for that or some other form of financing, again, of which I'm kind of working through that process right now.
okay. Is there a how do we plan capital improvements like this for DPW, but I guess for other departments as well? Is there like a set amount that we set aside each year, or I guess because this can happen randomly, I guess, in any year that we would need to replace a trash truck, or we do it with police vehicles or other what do you call them, assets that each department would have that they need to replace. But are they planned expenses, or are we doing this year to year? Because it sounds like we may get a couple more, but do we plan to have those couple more come in previous budgets, and this is expected, or are these things that are just popping up and we just realize that the vehicles have aged?
May I address that one?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So, Councilman Solomon, actually, that's a good question. And as we closed out last year's budgetary cycle, when we were talking about the capital improvements budget and the changes that we're going to be making going forward, first part of your question, historically in the past, we would include any fixed asset like truck vehicles in the capital budget. It was more of an aspiration plan. This body would approve the plan or the CIP request in its entirety. As we needed a particular vehicle, truck, or what have you, we would come forward with that purchase and identify the funding. Now, this year, it's going to be a similar process, but within the capital budget that we're going to be submitting, to kind of streamline that, to be more transparent as to where the capital funding is going to be going. We're still going to have the aspirational plan, but that's going to be in the back end of the budgetary document. But in the front end, we're going to identify those types of vehicles or capital assets that we want to plan and purchase because there's available funding for it, either cash or lease financing or something like that. So I hope that answers your question. And the appropriate way to do that, if we do have a request for a vehicle or truck that comes up outside of the capital process, the appropriate way is to bring it back to this body to amend the capital budget and add that item along with the funding that's available. I hope that answers your question.
It does, because I'm anticipating whether or not we're going to have those requests coming for the additional trucks that you asked for. But also, I remember a long time ago we had a conversation with us about planning for structural deficits, and with items like this that we, at least from what I recall, planning to have funds set aside for items like this and special accounts and how to manage those things. But I don't know if this is one of those scenarios where that applies either, but we can have that conversation off the record. You've answered my questions for tonight.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, part of this is just life cycle management. We kind of know how long, based on what we've seen in the past, how long we can expect our vehicles to last, the wear and tear on them. So some of that it can be projected through life cycle management. There are, when they reach the end of their useful life. Same with our police cars, we're doing the same thing with those. But some things, when there's significant mechanical failure and the cost to repair is too much, and so some things are surprises to us that we can't plan for.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions, colleagues? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is presentations, ARPA presentations. I guess we have Mr. Brooks.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to yield and turn this over to Mr. Prashal, who is the manager of our ARPA funds. Patrick, are you on online areas? Thank you.
Sure am. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to provide a brief update on the American Rescue Plan projects and obligations and next steps. And then I believe someone else is going to give an update on the projects that are formerly ARPA projects that are now general fund savings projects. So we submitted our quarterly report this last week. I'm proud that we were able to get this report in early, and it is the the most important report that we've ever submitted, because this is the one where there's no wiggle room for submitting a report that says we are fully obligated. We have an award amount, as you can see, of $17,967,910.01. And we were able to report 100% of that, all obligated. We have so far expended $15.6 million, which remains $2.3 million to expend. So that is to say, of the $17.9 million reward, we have through December 31st spent all but $2 million of it, and all $2.3 million that has not yet been spent is under legal obligation. For those who may be wondering or concerned about whether that means we're impacted by the federal grants, it does not impact us. The spending freeze or alleged spending freeze, we already have those monies in our account. They're already legally obligated by contract. Those contracts cannot be rescinded at this point. And so we are good to go with our obligation. One moment. Sorry, my alarm is going off for the evening. So next steps, we have to expend the remaining funds. Like I said, we have $2.3 million. We have 21 projects remaining to finish executing those projects on. They must be all complete by the end of December 2026. That's 22 months from now to complete spending on the $2.3 million for the 21 projects. Funds may only be spent on projects that have already been obligated, so there's no chance for us to change course or redirect funds at this point, except under very, very limited circumstances, like the contractor we have hired closes their company altogether unexpectedly. We also have to finalize our audit files. This is going to include writing overall program memoranda and individual project memoranda, and creating an audit checklist for each file, so that whenever we do get audits, whether it's part of a single audit, which we're in the middle of now, or part of a individual, sort of detailed spot audit that we may get from Treasury, we'll have those files ready for review. And then, of course, next up is to conduct the FY23 single audit. This is required by Treasury for each year in which we spend more than $750,000 of federal funds of any sort, not just rescue plan funds. We originally received our funds in FY22, but didn't spend the threshold amount in that year. So the first year we're required to submit that report is for FY23. We have an audit firm who's conducting our audit, and they will do the single audit on federal standards along with the FY23 audit. So that's where we are with rescue plan projects. I'm going to turn it over to, I'm not exactly sure who, to go over the general fund savings projects.
And that'll be Hal that will talk through this. Mayor and Council, if you recall, when we aligned this money, we made a commitment to come back to you quarterly so we can just keep you posted on the project. So these, again, most of these are in the CIP or in the general fund, and what we were moved to. So what we promised that we would do is just come back and let you know that these are still moving. These still are active, and here is the status of those. So Hal, do you want to pull up your slide deck, or do you want to go use this one and then?
No, if Patrick can stop sharing, I'll share the slides I put together.
Mr. Bashar?
Sure. Sorry. Yes, I'm working on it. Sorry. I am doing that. I didn't realize that there was a different set. I thought we published them last week. Sorry.
Yeah, it is the same one, Patrick. It's just there's some slides, some additional slides that just amplify some of the projects.
Yes. So yes, it's the same slide here. You'll see that it's highlighted with the blue ones being items that are not in the public works realm. The items in green are all completed projects, and so I'm going to talk about real briefly all of the projects in white. So the first is the Portland Loo installations. We have two locations, Hyatt Park and Hyrick Park. It's currently in permitting with WSSC, and WSSC can take quite a while. So we've been working on this permitting for many months right now. We're hoping to get this wrapped up soon and get the construction of the sewer and water lines and the installation of the Portland Loos to start sometime in the summer or fall. The West Hyattsville Green Alley improvements. There are two phases to this project. There's the stormwater improvements, which are a design build improvement. Those were funded with ARPA funds and are currently in progress. The second part, which is the non-ARPA funds as the placemaking portion of it, we did complete the conceptual design that got presented to council at the end of 2024. So we're going to be soliciting for the engineering and design, and then move on to the construction after the engineering and design are done. We don't expect the engineering and design to be as lengthy of a process because it's primarily working on city streets and city right-of-way without impacting much that would need to be permitted through Prince George's County. The Driscoll Park Community Building renovations. This one is, the project is to have solicit a contractor to come in and perform renovations of the building to make sure that it is safe and well operating for the next 10 plus years. This one has, I don't have more concrete dates, unfortunately, at this time. We are going to solicit it as a design build where we have a list of things that need to be done, but we'll be leaving it up to the contractor to make any designs and get those permits if required. The main thing is that we are coordinating this work to mesh with the schedule for the teen center completion, which is scheduled to be completed sometime this spring, and also to not interfere with our summer programming. So if some of the work can occur before the summer, we will try to get it done, but if not, it might have to wait till the fall and after all the kids return to school and the teen center is open so that community services can move their programming out temporarily while we get in there and get all the work done that we need to do. The Beautify Alternate Route 1 is, again, also, we kind of broke it up into two phases. The first phase is the holiday decoration portion, which many of you saw. Part of it was installed this year, and we will be adding some more holiday decorations in 2025. The second part is just kind of a general beautification of the street. We will be doing some community engagement and design this spring, and then construction. Again, we don't anticipate the design to be to need a lot of permit review or anything like that. So we're hoping to just be able to move right into any construction shortly after the design portion is done. The biggest struggle that we have is that it is a state highway, and we have to work with MDOT. But we're hoping that we can come up with some improvements that we can make that will be allowed by MDOT and not require a lengthy review on MDOT's part. The next is called the public restrooms and shower facilities in city-owned parks. This one, you may remember, we talked about originally when we first proposed this several years ago. We were going to look into getting a bathroom trailer, and a little over a year ago, we decided to continue with the thrones and to continue to work with the county and some other organizations on the shower portion of this. We've had the thrones now in some form and some combination of locations for about 3 years. You can see the current locations are 38th Avenue Park, Hyrick Park, Hyatt Park, and Driscoll Park. And unlike last year, we have a lot more information on users now. And you'll see here that over the last year, we've had over 9,000 users, unique users, that have used the bathrooms over 29,000 times combined. The seasonal lighting is the city will be taking over a number of pedestrian lights from State Highway on the Trolley Trail and on Queens Chapel Road as those construction projects are completed and closed out. So this funding is to purchase decorations for those light poles, as well as some other seasonal lighting as we continue to expand and be more inclusive with our holiday decorations in the city. We expect to procure that this spring and summer. Many of the vendors have a lot of sales. Now that the holiday season is over, they're going to start clearing out some of their old product. They'll be bringing some new product online. So, there are usually a lot of sales as we come into the summertime, and that's when we expect to make our procurement decisions to kind of maximize what we can get for the funds available. The next one is the Oliver Alley Green Streets improvements. It's currently in design and permitting. As you can see, we do have a rendering, if you don't remember our previous presentation to the council, of what the proposed improvements will look like. We are going to be doing some community outreach again this spring as we kind of finalize this plan and get through the permitting process. We expect construction to occur in 3 phases. The first phase being some stormwater improvements, and then the next phase would be the placemaking on the east half of the alley, then the west half of the alley. And we're breaking it up to kind of lessen the impact on the neighboring residents by only doing small sections at a time, and to make it a little easier for our contractor to be able to get in and out and bring materials and do the work that they need to do. We have the fiber optic extension and these were the original titles, the fiber optic extension to the teen center and police headquarters. This was approved by council back in August, and we had some additional discussions, I believe in October, in early November. So we're moving forward right now with the initial design that was provided by Prince George's County, which connects the city building at 4310 to 3505 Hamilton Street. It's in procurement right now. We're working on the contract with our vendor and hope to get a contract finalized in the next couple weeks. Construction is going to follow immediately after contract ratification, and we will be putting out information to the public as we will be working along the street. So as we get a little closer to the contract ratification and the schedule, you will see some public communication to kind of let folks know what's going on. Two more items to go. This is one of the bigger ones, the municipal building renovations. So we wanted to kind of first give you a sense of what we've already accomplished. You can see we've completed Windows replacement. That's all the regular windows. We do still have the 2 large windows in the mayor's office and Pringley room to be done, but that's kind of a separate window program. The public bathrooms have all been upgraded. They're all have been redone. They're all touchless, and we made some improvements for accessibility and safety when it comes to illness and preventing the spread of illness and infections by making everything touchless. We've replaced the control joints in the building, which has helped with a number of the leaks that we've experienced over the years. And with that, we had to renovate some of the admin offices that were most severely impacted by the water leaks in the building. We did also do the first floor office where visitors can come up and get service before they even enter the building. This was funded with CARES Act, but we wanted to make sure everyone kind of remembered all the work we've been doing on the building over the years, which does also include the HVAC replacement, which was done about 2 years ago. Currently in progress, we are working on the access control and security camera installation. We expect that to be done this month, and when we do that, we'll have a much better picture of the building and security in the building, which is something we've definitely needed. The elevator is going to be modernized. That's also going to occur this spring. That will again also be a large undertaking, but we'll have a tremendous improvement when it's done, as we have a more reliable and safer modern elevator for the building. We're also working on the backup generator replacement. We had a power outage that occurred not quite a year ago that showed us that we did need to update some of our backup power systems in the building. And we're currently also working on the council chamber renovations. We have the space demoed. We have new items lined up for that, and we are just finalizing the design for the dais. And once that is done, we will then move on to putting everything back together for the council chambers. Excuse me. Upcoming renovations. So this is using some of the funding that was former ARPA funding. We have also requested legislative bond funding during the 2025 session, and we've received legislative bond funding in a previous year for stormwater mitigation in the building. That's to help with some of the leaks in the water that we get in the basement and the parking lots. The final kind of step is getting ready for when the police move to 3505. It's going to they'll be vacating the entire second floor, so we are working on reviewing the space utilization plan that was previously done and finalizing a renovation scope so that the renovation, procurement, and construction can start shortly after the police move to 3505 Hamilton. And finally, on our list was the circulator study. That's in progress by Pannoni Associates. They are working on completing it right now. The city staff is reviewing the first draft, and we will be providing comments back to Pannoni so that they can finalize that plan or finalize that study, and then we will have a presentation to council that will follow once we've received the final draft of that circulator study. And that is all that I have.
Colleagues, any questions? One more time, colleagues, any questions? You know, someone's going to raise their hand just before we move on. I know it. There we go, Ms. Straub.
Do we have a more current estimated time of completion for the teen center?
Yes. So if you've been by recently, you'll see that they've got the new roof on the building and have been working frantically on the inside. We're looking at an approximate May completion date, and that schedule will be a little more finalized over the next couple weeks as they get some of the major systems done. But we're currently looking at about May.
Great, thank you.